Well, the concept started out.
I had very carefully
And
watched
naturally, I was absolutely thrilled.
And now it's time for Talk to the Leaders, where you get to learn from one of Kickstarter's leading project founders exactly how they did it. Booster Boards is a project cunningly hidden inside an electric-powered skateboard, taking aim at traffic congestion, pollution, and personal transportation. With a range of up to 6 miles per charge every day at up to 20 miles per hour for only $5 a year of electricity. Add to this a method of transport that you can easily carry, wireless handheld speed controls and regenerative braking that recharges the battery every time you stop. And they're taking aim at many of the problems that lie in between driving and public transport. Booster Boards campaign funded its $100,000 goal in the first 24 hours, racking up over 8,000 Facebook likes in just a couple of days, despite a relatively small social media presence. Today, co-founder Matt Tran joins us to talk about how they did it. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bear.
Okay, so can you tell us, where did the idea for Boosted Boards come from, and how many other ideas did you look at, and how did you end up choosing between them?
Well, I started thinking about this project probably about 4 years ago and thinking about how to improve transportation. I was living in LA at the time and just really felt like the answer really lied in public transit and light electric vehicles. So I started developing a motorized freeboard, which ended up becoming like too sort of complex, but the idea was there. And then John separately was working on robotics and these motors, and wanted to motorize his longboard. And Sanjay is the one that connected all three of us. We all knew each other from Stanford, but it wasn't until we all knew that we were working on this similar concept of a light electric board, basically, that we could ride around on, that we kind of combined forces a little over a year ago to work on this, and didn't actually start working on it seriously as full-time until the beginning of this year. So.
Okay. When did you have any idea that this could be something bigger than just, an experimental side project?
I guess, when we first made the prototype and were riding around, it always got a lot of just stares and just unbelievable. When you see the board riding uphill, people are just like, that's defying gravity. That doesn't look physically possible. And people would always just stop us and ask where they could get one. And, just the excitement that we saw in people's eyes when they saw it, told us that we were onto something.
So you seem to focus on it as a last mile vehicle, as you call it, rather than aiming more specifically at traditional kind of skateboard markets like, hardcore skaters. Can you explain what you mean by that last mile concept and why you chose to aim this at a broader market of people? Yeah,
well, 50% of our commutes are less than 5 miles, so they're actually very short distances. And this is, particularly high when you're in an urban area or somewhere that's very dense. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these trips are actually going from a train station or bus station to your house, or just a small trip, to the shop for errands. And for these trips, it's actually more of a hassle to have your car because you have to worry about parking and traffic and all those things. So the idea of a last mile vehicle is like a small device that you could take with you anywhere, and it helps to make that connection from the train stop to your final destination. And our vehicle in particular is very convenient over, say, a bicycle, because you can easily carry it with you onto the train or bus, and you can carry it with you up to the office, so you don't have to worry about it being locked up outside and stolen. Absolutely. So in the Kickstarter campaign itself, you wrote that,
whoever wrote the campaign wrote, the bigger picture is even more exciting, changing the world of transportation and shifting the perception of what an electric vehicle can be. What perception is it that you're actually going for, and really what's your eventual goal for mass transportation, possibly beyond boosted boards?
Yeah, there's this perception with electric vehicles that, they're kind of geeky. There's like this range anxiety. There's this just a perception that it's people trying to force some better mode of transportation that they don't want to be on, and this, on the boosted boards, like we've come at the approach of like, we wanted to build something that was fun and that we liked and that we wanted to be seen on, and then it's almost like an afterthought of like, oh, hey, it's actually electric. And so our primary focus is like making something that is like very cool and very like fun to be on. But then, it's sort of like a second thought that like, hey, this thing actually has a lot of utility and is very convenient in a lot of areas. So.
Okay. So you also mentioned having the former director of engineering at Tesla as a mentor and another mentor from Apple. These are pretty impressive names for, someone in the sort of small startup phase on Kickstarter. How did you manage to actually find these people and end up with them as your mentors? And maybe if you could go into some of the sort of specific lessons that you actually managed to learn from them along the way.
Yeah, the advisors and mentors have really been key to us, and that's something that I would recommend for all Kickstarter campaigns is, there's a lot of things that we, only had a small amount of experience with, so having those advisors was key. The way that we found them, it was kind of being in the right places. The mentor that we have from Tesla was Sanjay had actually met him, and it was through a university event. I believe it was like around electric vehicles and stuff. So there was people there that obviously had a lot of expertise in that area, and you just struck up a conversation and just developed the relationship from there. So I guess finding mentors, partly it's just going to the right meetings and discussions, finding people are just interested in what you're interested in, and especially those people that like have more experience than you do. So we've also been fortunate enough to be in some accelerators that have also helped pair us up with some pretty amazing mentors.
Okay, so yeah, I noticed that you guys were actually part of Y Combinator. What kind of role did Y Combinator or those other accelerators you mentioned actually play in creating and refining the plan that Boosted Boards is running with today?
Yeah, I mean, they've been a lot of help. We have an amazing network that we can pull from whenever we have questions. They've allowed us to really focus on our product and our customers, and some of the other nitty gritty things of the business. They've been able to help us with legal operations, business stuff. There's also just a strong network of advisors that whenever we have questions, we could ask them. There's also these dinners every week that where other founders come to and they talk about their experience. So their lessons learned has helped us, hopefully not to fall into the same, traps and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of some of the bigger things that being in the accelerator. Plus, it's just the mentality of all the other groups in there of they're doing all this amazing stuff, and it just really has pushed us to really, put in the extra effort and really like be able to show something, that we're really proud of. So.